You guys say hello?
Hi.
We're just finishing lunch up, and so some of the kids are still in swimsuits. Do you want to scoot your chair over here? We're so happy to be here again on Friday. I hope this time works out for you guys. Oh.
You do ashes on the table for me?
Yes. Do you want to come and hop over here? Do you want to come hop over by me?
No.
No, you want to sit right there?
Oh, a mistake.
Where do you want to sit?
Nothing. I just want to sit with you.
Oh, you're so silly.
Sit with Mommy.
So today we're going to be talking about creation, and I would love for you guys when you come in just to say hello.
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 I need to go. Bye bye.
Oh, sorry.
What? You're Xing all the kids out of something?
No, I'm not. There, you can see you guys. So just while we're waiting, one of the things that I kind of wanted to show you guys is this cool bad boy here.
My dad got it somehow.
Do any of you guys know what this is? If you do, you can make a comment.
Wait, can I have a head that has a hole.
Yeah, have you guys seen a skull before? We'll see if you guys can figure out what kind of skull this is. Are you trying to look through the eyes?
Teeth like here.
Yeah, there's some teeth
wiggling
right here. Yeah, be careful. We don't want to wiggle the teeth out.
And one of these can come out. It's this one.
Yeah.
And there's one kind. Mama, how did you get this?
That is a long story. Oh. That is a long story for a different day. Let's not pull those off right now.
The ones
They don't usually get to touch it, so they're like, woo, we can rip it apart. So we have it right here. And today we're kind of going to be talking about how things were created. So you guys asked me how I got it, but I think a more important question is, how was it even made, right?
Yeah.
How was it made?
And I can see him, my baby. I can't see him.
Okay, go ask Elijah for help. That's kind of hard right now.
He's in the bathroom.
Okay.
They
just got out of the pool, and then they were having lunchtime, and you know how that goes. I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure a lot of you guys are at home eating right now too, while you're watching this. So I wanted to remind you guys of the book that we're doing. If you guys have this book, yes, the salsados are correct. Okay, come here. Yeah, so this is a book that we're going to be going over. It's called Theology. Kind of says the word theology.
Yeah.
And this book, if you want to get it, you can. We're going to for sure be following at least this first 8 that are about the theology of God. So, do you guys remember what we learned about God last week? Sit on the chair. Do you guys remember what we learned about last week?
No.
No.
I don't.
Oh, wow. Does anyone out there remember what we learned about last week?
Yeah.
We learned something about God.
Yeah, we did.
Do you remember?
Mommy, I know the Yeah, she does remember. She doesn't want to tell anybody.
Sorry, she's having a hard time seeing because Kai is moving, and that's causing us to move. So if you guys remember, on the first week, we talked about God always was, and he always will be. That was the first thing that we learned. God always was, and he always will be. And you guys remember that we showed some pictures of all of you from FBC Menifee as little kids and growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? Because you guys grow and completely change, but God has always been. He's always existed. He always will exist, and his character doesn't change.
And he can never die.
Yes, and he never dies.
We would just die, and then one day. But Jesus never dies. Jesus never dies.
So let me ask you guys something, okay? Who made everything? Do you guys know? Who made everything?
Jesus made everything.
Does anyone out there know? What did you guys say? Who made everything?
Jesus! Jesus made everything. Even the earth picture right there. Even the earth.
Yeah, God made everything. Who made you guys?
God.
Who made the skull that we were talking about earlier?
God.
That's right. God made everything. And do you know how we know that?
Yeah.
How? How do we
The
know that?
Bible tells us.
That's right. Genesis 1:1 tells us that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
And the show I've been watching tells me too.
Yes, you have been watching a show in the morning that's been teaching you about that, huh?
Yeah.
And God did create everything. He made everything. I want everyone to stop. I want everyone to stop and think for a second. What is something that you have made? If you guys have something at home that you've made, you can add it here. You can tell me in the comments, and I'll let everyone know. But what are things that you guys have made before?
Oh, I know. I can go. I know.
Okay, she's gonna go grab something. Go ahead, sit up here so everyone can see you. What is something that you made?
A picture.
Okay, you've made a picture before. What is something that you've made?
Can you be something like we painted?
Yeah.
I painted these. My mom took me out for a day and she got me to paint it up.
Yeah, you went to Painted Earth and you painted something. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been there before. Okay, so it's okay. Sit up. So when you painted something, when you made something, did you make the paint or did you buy the paint?
I bought the paint. We
bought
bought
the paint.
everything.
What about the paper? Where did the paper come from?
Actually, there's
the wood.
From trees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lila, when you were making something at Painted Earth, did you have to actually make any of the stuff or did you just use stuff?
Come on, use stuff.
You just use things. Yeah. What are other things that we can make? What are other things that people make? Oh, cool. So the D&D, my D girls, they've made ice cream bowls at Painted Earth. Right?
Ice cream bowls.
Yeah, they made ice cream bowls. Maybe one day they'll get to make ice cream.
There's like a bowl.
And if you guys have ever had a garden, I don't know if you guys have planted things before and watched them grow, or maybe out of Legos, or I believe last week some of you guys were showing some super cool stuff that you made. Some robots, right? Actually, that was my D&D girls also. You guys made a robot at your house. So I want you to look around you. What are things not that you've made, but that people have made? You can see what? What are we in right now?
A house.
A house, right? People have
Cardboard.
made houses. Cardboard, people have made it, right? What is the difference between God making things and us making things?
God's things are alive and they're perfect.
Okay, so when God can make living things, can we make a living thing?
No.
No. Well, what about when a mom has a baby?
Yeah, but that's not really.
That's different because I'm not the one who gives it life, right?
God did.
Yeah, God has to give life.
He made
What
it
else is
himself.
different about when God makes something and when you guys make something?
When God makes something, it doesn't break or anything. It's perfect. When we make stuff, it breaks.
Well, okay.
Perfect.
Yes, when God made things originally, everything was perfect, but because sin entered the world, some things can deteriorate now, right? How about this? I have a little story for you guys, okay? And one day, a group of scientists decided, you know what? We don't really need God anymore. So they spoke with God and they told God, you know what? We don't need you anymore. We're just going to be doing our own thing, making our own stuff. And so God said, okay, that's fine. You want to make your own things? This didn't really happen, you guys. It's just a story. God said, okay, you want to make your own things? Let's have a contest. Let's see who can make a brick. And the scientists immediately started picking up materials, and God said, wait. You can't use those materials. You have to make them yourself. So the D&D girls got it right. People, although we can make things, we can only make things out of other stuff. We have to have stuff, and we call that stuff, do you guys remember from chemistry? Matter. We call that stuff matter. We have to have things in the world to work together to make things. But God actually spoke and created matter. Everything that we see was made by God, and there's nothing that is made, nothing that you see that was not made by God. God made everything. Anything that humans make, we have to use things that God has given us for that. Okay? And that's really a huge, incredible difference. And a lot of people, they don't understand that. And they want to say, okay, but all of these chemicals in the air came together. Okay, but who made those chemicals?
Yeah,
God, right? You can't even have carbon unless God made carbon. So the big thing is that God made everything, and that when he made everything, he's the only one who can do it. That's something that's totally amazing. He made everything out of nothing. I want to show you guys a few of my favorite places. My kids will probably guess where they are. If you've been to any of these places, I would love for you guys to tell me. Does anyone know where this is?
Mountain? Oh, that?
This is Denali National Park. Where is that at?
In Alaska.
In Alaska.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful this.
You've been there?
No, that is not me. Actually, that is a man in a photo that I found. So, Denali National Park. Look at how beautiful and creative God is, that he could make something like that. I'm going to show you guys another place. Does anyone recognize this one?
Tuolumne Meadows and
I can't really see
Sorry.
it.
Meadows.
Yeah, our family goes camping here every year. This is Tuolumne Meadows, right? And it looks different than the last place that we saw because God is creative. He's made so many different places. What about this place?
Oh.
Who knows where this is?
Oh,
It's
I know.
Half Dome.
Half Dome.
It's in the valley.
So this is in Yosemite, right? This is in California. Does it look the same as the last place we looked at, Tuolumne? No. Does it look the same as Denali?
No.
No. Let's look at another one.
Oh, yeah.
Zion.
Bryce Canyon.
Bryce Canyon.
Wait, how
Yes.
did you get that picture?
But this is very close, I guess relatively close to where Zion is. Look at how beautiful that is, how God has made an entire world. And these places are just on the west part of the United States. This isn't even the whole world. This isn't even the entire United States. God is so creative. He has made so many beautiful and creative places. It's really amazing to think about all the things that God has made and how unique and creative and beautiful he is.
And
What were you going to say?
He doesn't just make them in one place. He makes them everywhere. So like we can go somewhere else and that place, or they're not bunched up.
Yeah, it is really neat to think that God didn't just give one group of people somewhere beautiful that they could go to, but he made beautiful places all over. And do you guys know why that would be? Why do you think God would make so many beautiful places all across the world? The Bible actually tells us why he does that. Do you guys know? Because the beauty of creation declares who God is. When you guys are there, when you're standing there, I see the D-girls, they've been to Yosemite. When you guys are there and you're looking out, you can't help but think, what an amazing creator created all of this. Right?
Yeah.
It's so amazing to think about that God is so good that he made all of these things. And when I stand up there, I like to think it's just breathtaking. And heaven's going to be even more beautiful than that because we're going to see God in heaven.
It's like gonna be all that stuff in like.
Yeah, I wonder what heaven's going to look like. We have a few clues, but I just can't, it's hard to imagine anything more beautiful than the places that I just showed you. And yet we know it's going to be even better. So we're going to talk a little bit about the days of creation right now for you guys. And something at the very end, if you guys are going to go into Ring Central, you guys can be thinking about showing us something that you have made. Although we know that you made it with other materials, right? Nobody created the materials by themselves. But we would love to see the things that you guys have made, because that's a way that we actually get to reflect something cool about God, because God is creative and we get to have that opportunity to be creative because he made humans in his likeness. And that's one of the ways that he did that was by, are you playing? Was by giving us the ability to be creative. So I'd like to ask you guys, okay, I think I have one on here. Let me see. This is kind of small, so I'll see if I can make it big enough that you guys can see it. Do you guys know, in the beginning, God created
The heavens and the earth.
The heavens and the earth. Yeah, you guys know that one, huh? God created the heavens and the earth. And then on day 1, God said, let there be light, and it was good. Did you guys know that God created the light?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys can see here that God created light on the first day. But I want you guys to pay very special attention. Some of my kids who have been students before might know this. Let's pay really close attention to when the sun was created. Sun, S-U-N, not Jesus the Son. He always existed. Okay, so on day 1, God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and he said that it was good, and he divided the light from the darkness. Now, this is super cool because God said the light was good. And I want you guys to listen for that theme because everything that God makes is good. Everything that he made is good. Okay?
Wait, he made tonight, but tonight is still bad.
Our dog is very naughty. But this is before the fall. This is during creation. On day 2, God said, and I'm going to read this to you guys. I'm reading from Genesis right now. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Thus God made it, and divided the waters which were under from the waters which were above. And God called them heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, so the third day, God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. So we see him make the atmosphere on day 2, right? And then on day 3, what does God make? He let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. What is he making?
He is making the earth.
Yeah, he's
Like
making
on the ground.
the land, the continents, right?
Yeah.
And the ocean.
The earth should be all black.
He's
and
making
nothing
like
like that.
you
So
should
the
be a
first
drink
day,
of water.
God did say that there be light, and there was light, and He created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah. What is so cool about that is how did he make these things? Did he work really hard with like working hard out there? No, he just, what did he do?
He just spoke. And
Yeah.
all of that, it was there.
He spoke words. He spoke words and these things happened. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you just said, let there be light in the middle of the night and then a big sun popped up into the sky?
That would be
Could you do that?
No.
No. On day 4, God said, let there be lights in the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights. Then God made 2 great lights, the great light to rule the day. Which light rules the day?
Sun.
The sun. And the lesser light to rule the night. Which light rules the night?
Moon.
The moon.
The moon. He made stars also, and God set them in the heavens to give light on the day and to rule over the day and over the night. So this is when God made the sun. So the light that he made in the beginning, when God just said, let there be light, he's not just talking about making the sun. He just made his own source of light, which is so cool.
So he made the light. So all of a sudden there was just a light, and then there was a sun.
And then there was a sun, right? And so if you guys go out at night and it's really, really dark, it's amazing because you can still see. Usually we have the moon, but even if we don't have the moon at night, right, we still see the reflection, or we still see what? What else is in the sky to light your way?
The
Stars. Right. And the further away you are from other light, the brighter the stars seem. And you can still see even in a really dark night.
A couple of nights ago, the stars were like really bright, and you could see Venus too. It was really cool. Like it was really, really bright.
Venus is so fun to see. So just FYI, if you guys are curious, when you're looking out at the sky and you see a very, very bright light, shh, let's use no voice. Let's be quiet right now. When you guys are looking outside at night and the sun has set, like within the couple hours after the sun has set for that period of time, you can see Venus usually, and it is so bright, really bright. And the reason you know it's a planet and not a star, do you guys remember?
It doesn't twinkle.
It doesn't twinkle. That's right. So the planets will appear as a solid light, and then the stars appear as they're twinkling because of things moving in front refraction of light, long, blah, 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 other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but isn't that crazy to think that you can even see Venus with your eyes? That blows my mind. And God has put all of these things in the sky for us. One of the cool things, too, is if we can't live on other planets, I used to wonder, why would God even make them? Have you guys ever thought about that?
No.
No? Oh. Well, I used to wonder that. And it's amazing because the more you learn about astronomy, the more you see God's perfect plan. Because even how far our neighboring planets are from us helps to stabilize us, because you guys know that we're constantly moving. And it keeps us from being really wobbly all over the place. So the gravitational pull from these other planets helps us to create stability in our planet.
Helps with currents and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the planet, and all the really cool planets like.
Yeah. One of the cool things about the moon, too, is that you guys know the moon is not actually even white. It's not even a white moon.
It's like,
But the sun is so bright and beautiful that the light hits the moon and it bounces off of the moon, and that's what we see.
it's black. It's like
I think
asphalt.
Yeah, it looks a little bit closer to that color of asphalt if you guys were just to scoop it up and look at it down here.
Kind of
So if you guys have ever seen moon rocks, you might go, that's weird. A moon rock is really dark. But that's how beautiful and bright the sun is, and that it's able to reflect light off of the moon enough that it comes back to us and can light up our world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so astronomy, if you guys are looking for something to geek out on, you guys should definitely go down that path. Answers in Genesis has a ton of resources too about creation and about astronomy, all things related to God and science, and it's really cool. One of the other things is we're talking about God creating. Did I say day 5? No, I can't remember if I said day 5. We'll say what was created on day 5. On day 5, God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens." So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on earth." Okay, so let's see, maybe, I have a few people out there, so maybe you guys can answer. There's this question that people always ask: what came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken or the egg?
egg.
Have you guys heard that question before?
No.
No? This is, all my old parent friends are like, yes, we have totally heard this before. I sounded so Californian right there. I said like and totally in one sentence. We have heard this before. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The egg.
You guys think the egg?
The chicken.
Does anybody out there want to guess for me?
Chicken.
I mean, you don't even have to guess. I literally just said what came first.
The chicken.
A bird, right? Because God made the birds. He made them with the ability to lay eggs and have eggs. So what came first was the chicken.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, like
A bird.
Hey, let's put that down right now.
They didn't have
So on day 5, God created all of the fish in the sea, all of the animals in the sea, and he made the birds. And then on day 6, God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind," and it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. So God created the land animals, and then what else did he create right now?
Us.
Yeah, he created people. And then on day 7, it says, "Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all of his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all of his work." And you guys have heard that before. The 7th day is the Sabbath, the day that God rested. So I want you guys to also think about this. This is something that they talk about, is that, can you guys give me some names of different dogs? If you guys have a dog, you guys can tell me a type of dog. Okay, Tanaya, but I mean Australian Shepherd, German Shepherd, those kinds. Bulldogs, wolves.
That's
No, not dog names, like breeds of dogs.
I think it's still
A Great Dane.
Okay, Great Dane.
It's a
What
Great
else?
Dane.
A Siberian Husky.
Siberian Huskies.
Huskies.
What's Polo again?
Mm,
And the Dietrich Star?
I don't remember. Big dogs. So there's a ton of different kinds of dogs. And some of these types of dogs didn't even exist 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It's the way that they were bred. So one of the cool things about the way that God made animals, the way that he made birds, the way that God made cattle, the way that he made all of these things, is that he made in them DNA that can make little changes over time. Oh, pit bull. Yeah, pit bull's another type of dog.
She's trying to say pit bull.
Or a lab. Oh, you were saying pit bull and we thought you said pickle.
I said
Golden retriever. There we go. And so God put in their DNA all these different types of ways that their DNA can be expressed. The type of hair that they have, the color eyes, the length of their snout. So over time, we see a lot of different types of dogs. Okay? And that's the way that God intended it. So it's cool because that means early on, when God made all of these creatures, right, they didn't maybe necessarily look exactly the same way that they look to us today. And that's different than saying that an animal that is a dog could turn into a bird, or that a bird could turn into a land dinosaur, and a land dinosaur could turn into a chicken.
I don't know.
So-
How do you get from dinosaur to chicken?
So it's a different idea. This is the idea that God already put into your DNA slight ability for changes. And so that's what we see when we look at all the animals that we see today. So today's big picture is that God created everything out of nothing. What did he create?
everything out of nothing.
Yeah, God created everything out of nothing. And next week we're going to talk about how powerful God is. That God is so powerful, which I feel like we kind of proved that today, right? By talking about how we could make everything. But we're going to talk about the theology. It's number 4 in the book, about God being powerful, omnipotent. So we're going to review our Old Testament and New Testament songs, and then we hope to see you guys all on Ring Central. Are you guys ready for the songs?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, let's do our Old Testament. Ready? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st Kings, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and the last book, Malachi! Good. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, and the letter to the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, and Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus and Philemon, Hebrews and the book of James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation. Okay, we can't wait to see you guys in Ring Central. Bye!
Bye.